Sorry. What? Oh, seriously?
Slightly. What's wrong?
The Podbean Live crashed, so we're gonna do a new live real quick. Fucking Podbean. There we go. Let's invite Spanky in. So we're live on Restream and everybody else. It's awesome. Oh, Q Bella pops in. Hey, Q. Hey, there's Slightly. Eric. Yeah, Eric jumped out of Slacker. I'm impressed.
Slacker or Clapper?
Slacker Media, Slacker Alpha.
Oh,
They've got a live cast going on.
what's going on there, Q? I'm in strange surroundings tonight.
Everybody wants to see you. I said Slightly's going to be here, and everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll have like an all time. We might get as many people as God. What was that guy's name? Bards of him.
Oh, Bard, yeah, Bard FM, or the kilted Christian. We could have that many people in here.
Wow,
It'll be great. Shep.
Where's Shep? Oh, there's Shep.
Shep's on Podbean.
Yeah, I see that.
Shep's on Podbean. We got crazy people on looks like Facebook.
Oh, you guys are still on Facebook.
Yeah, we're still Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Rumble.
Yeah, I have to come up with a fake new YouTube account. Even when you stopped doing shows during the move, they went back upon the year and a half of YouTube videos that we did and found more reasons and excuses to bar us.
Exactly.
So we got a complete ban.
And there's we got a couple over on Rumble. So, however long they'll let us hang out on YouTube, we're good with that. That's not our main channel. Rumble is.
Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna have. Eric's been trying to get me to go to Rumble. I have to check it out.
I think you should.
Yeah,
I think you should. There's a lot more. There's no censorship. Rumble is now an American company. They were a Canadian company. They moved into the United States. They're headquartered in Connecticut.
Okay,
I believe. So.
What? And then do you guys do the show on Clapper as well, or is that just Spanky's afternoon drive time?
Okay, so Clapper, interesting thing, Clapper is only for mobile devices. So it's just for phones, Android and iPhone. But I can do, through manipulation, I can do our Clapper show. I can put this over on Clapper.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. But I'm not doing that tonight because screw those people. They're weird. They just, I don't know if you checked it out. They take off their clothes. They do really weird stuff over there. It's great.
Oh my God, I gotta subscribe.
You don't know, free account. There's no money involved. Exactly, Q. Pappy's in. What's up, Pappy?
Well, that's amazing.
All the way from West Virginia. I don't know what you guys are expecting, but this ain't your sister's Beans and Weenie show tonight. I got real talent on here.
Talent that'll show up.
Yeah. Talk about things that I want to talk about. We'll get Q up here.
Oh, there you.
Q's got things to say.
That's.
And we're not talking. We're not talking about micro penises tonight. That's Jester and Spanky's deal. It's not mine.
Oh.
This is hard-hitting discussion about the current events and the state of crap that we're all involved in the United States.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Shep's like, oh, we're not talking about micro penises? I'm out. Yo, Mr. T, all the way from Arizona, baby. Crazy ladies coming in. Shit.
Everyone's coming in tonight.
Slightly, you're drawing everybody. It's awesome.
I'm telling you. As long as we don't draw any crabs,
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah. Speaking of crabs. No, actually, it's not crabs. What was it? So at MGM Grand, in their poker room, they have the most horrific chairs, the most uncomfortable chairs to sit in.
Yeah.
Because they got rid of all of their chairs that were comfortable because someone had bed bugs on the chairs.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I'm like, can't you like just spray the damn things? Now they just discarded all the chairs, and these chairs don't even roll around.
That sucks.
They're like if you were to go to a convention, it's one of those regular chairs at a table.
Yeah, the crappy chairs that you.
Yeah, with four legs that you don't move around unless you get off your ass and move the chair. Otherwise, you're sitting there. Yeah. They said they're on order, but that's been like 2 months.
Yeah.
Tell me what billion-dollar company has to wait 2 months for chairs?
Well, because, they're not connected anymore. There's no family running the joint. So
Telling you.
not like they can just make a call and say, hey, stop the truck here instead of taking it over to Microsoft. We need the chairs.
I'm telling you, heads would have rolled years ago.
Hell yeah. Somebody would have died over that.
There might be some bodies over in Lake Mead because of that.
Hey, it's filling back up. What's up with that shit?
Global warming. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Greta Thunberg visited. Now it's all full of water.
That's it.
Oh, welcome in, everybody. Donnie motherfucking Miles, all the way from southeastern Kansas, if you're still there. Happy to have you. There's no Spanky tonight, thank God. I'm happy. Q, what septic tank? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, we let him know that you were going to do a show, but apparently he couldn't run in fast enough.
He's still hopping around. He might head
A guest appearance.
Yeah, you never know. We'll see. He's like, if I can find a quiet place in the house, I might join y'all. Fuck you. We don't want you. Screw him.
Well, if he was with Jester, he would have a quiet place.
Jester's napping. Jester has a yeast infection. I don't know what's up with that.
Better than crabs.
I think he's got crabs too. He works at a prison. You got to remember. He works
Yeah. There might be a lot of creepy crawlers over there.
And creepy people.
Yeah.
Yancy Hoff, welcome in.
Well, at least so he gets the duty of making sure people don't Epstein themselves.
I think he's part of the Epstein crew. He's a Hillary devotee.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he takes care of the babysitting jobs and such.
Now it all makes sense why he's a prepper.
And he lives in a compound that nobody knows where it's at.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't do a good job of that because I found it.
I wonder if he took over the compound that Art Bell used to live in.
No, Art Bell's in the high desert out there with you.
Oh, he's dead now.
Yeah, he's buried up there.
He might be in Lake Mead.
Yeah, it could be. Aliens dropped him off.
Yeah, he loved talking about aliens, didn't he?
Dude, he would talk about anything. I love this show. It was awesome. Yancy! Did I say Hoff? Welcome in, Spider Hoff. His tingly senses were going off. And yes, crazy lady, I do look at Rumble because I just commented, but you didn't say anything back. We got like 40 people on Rumble. It's great.
Do we really?
It's crazy.
Wow.
I'm really happy with Rumble. Rumble's awesome.
It makes me go over to Rumble right now.
You got to go to Rumble.
Okay.
Just jump in there. Talk to people.
Computers around my system here. That's Rumble.
Rumble.com. Beans and Weenie
Rumble?
Show.
Oh,
Well, hurry up because you got like 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. Screw it. We're going to kick this off. It's great. Yeah.
Well, look who's here.
Happy Wednesday.
It's hump day.
Welcome to the show.
Why don't you talk in the microphone?
I don't know.
How hard is it to talk into a microphone?
Yeah.
I got a backup mic right here.
We have a show today.
Why don't we kick it up a notch?
That's what we're going to do.
Now we begin.
All right, kids.
Yes! It's just about to get twisted.
Showtime.
Thanks for the golf clap. That was kind of weak there, slightly.
Well, I can only do what I can do.
Welcome, everybody, into the Beans and Weenie show is slightly doomed. We've got a wonderful special guest host with us this night. What do I call you? What's your name?
I don't know. Slightly serious, James. Whatever the hell you want. I guess it's your show.
I want to call you Big Jim, but you won't let me. You told me no last time.
Well, I'm definitely not Slim Jim.
Not Slim Jim, no. Got around Jim.
And
Big Jim.
big sexy pussy.
James from the Slightly Serious Show has joined us to talk about all things I want to talk about tonight. So none of that.
It's all about you, Scooter.
That's right. None of that jokey crap stuff.
No.
What happened to your mic? Your mic. Where did you go?
It's right here.
No, you're talking through the computer.
No.
Damn computer.
I am not talking through the computer.
Dina Joe, welcome to the show. Everybody, please, in the chat, let Slightly know that you can't hear him very well because he's talking through the computer. His mic crapped out on him.
No, it did not. It
you're
should be working.
Now you're there.
Well, there we go. I didn't change a thing.
Got like a huge delay. So what's going on, everybody? Oh, what a night we've got planned for you. Actually, we have nothing planned, so fuck it. Whatever you want to do, it's great. Whatever.
Get naked. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves.
Oh, naked. And what are you drinking?
The water's good for the body.
Boy, that was a letdown. 62-0 patio. Q's got her Tito's. I think Q might have a problem.
What's the problem with her?
I don't know. She runs out of Tito's. That's the problem.
Oh, damn it.
We got to...
that peanut butter, what is it? Peanut butter whiskey? Oh, my God. That stuff's good.
That's gross. Are you kidding? What are you mixing peanut butter and whiskey for?
No, you just drink it straight out of the bottle. You don't put it with anything.
I mean, so you sound like Elvis now. I'm going to put a little whiskey on my peanut butter banana sandwich, and let me tell you, that's the best stuff since sliced bread.
Oh, I'm sure there's some listeners out there that have been drinking peanut butter whiskey.
Okay, so I remember Q has an affinity for peanut butter whiskey. Is that right, Q Bella? Go ahead. And I think Dina Joe hits it on occasions, but she won't let anybody know. She's like a teetotaler.
Yeah, she says it's good. See, I'm not the only one.
You two are weird. You're on the West Coast. That's right. That's why the Rocky Mountains have separated us. So,
well, it's either that or Gentleman Jack, straight up.
that's the only way to go. Sitting behind me is the Gentleman Jack. I've got the.
There's no hair still, so.
You're still shaving? Good job. Oh, now your sound effects are coming through.
No, that's yours.
No, that was yours on your side, dude. Zomberry, welcome in. So I got 4 questions that I just want to ask you. I want to get your thoughts on them. I sent you the notes. You did take a look at the notes, right?
I actually, for the first time ever, I actually read show notes.
Oh. Good job. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Okay, and these have nothing to do with sexual encounters or lifestyles or drinking or anything. So y'all are going to be really disappointed on this because
I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed?
No, never.
All right, so I'm going to run through these questions. So first question I'm going to talk to you about is, will DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, decisions that companies make, will they end up killing people? Number one, don't say anything yet. Number one, I'm just a little tease here. I want to talk about the Epstein list, but before we get to the Epstein list, whatever happened to the prostitution ring and brothel in Washington, D.C.? That's the second question I'm going to ask you about. Okay. Number 3, Deobra Redden in your home neighborhood. Deobra, how the fuck do you pronounce that? Do you know? Have you heard?
You know what? I was just going to say, just call her Deborah, but it's actually a dude.
It is a dude.
But nowadays, you never know if it's a dude. So, just go with however you want to pronounce it.
Well, that's why I said Deobra Redden.
Deobra.
And what's up with that dude? So we're going to ask you that. And then the final couple of questions that I got for you here, if I can get to the notes. What do you know about baseball? So I'm going to go with Pertwee's fuck baseball, but this is a perfect story for him. So Trevor Bauer and the Dodgers, your favorite team of all time, not San Diego. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I know about the Trevor Bauer incident, and that's an interesting topic. He's not even playing ball here in America anymore.
No, he's in Japan, and we're going to get to all that. So that's like a whole topic.
I'll hold my britches.
Just calm down, because we're going to go back. We got to start this off right. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Does anybody want to jump up on the panel and toss this around with Slightly and I tonight? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Decisions that corporations make, will they end up killing people? I'm just curious, because I know Q wants to get in on this.
Now, are we talking figuratively or?
No, literally.
Literally kill people. Well,
literally.
I think we saw that, but we'll wait and see if we have anybody else that wants to talk about it.
Well, Q's up here. DJ, you want to get in on this DEI business and BP? I mean, come on. Zomberry, I'm taking all takers. Donnie motherfucking Miles, you want to put your voice to this DEI stuff? I would love to get his take on this.
This isn't the topic that I wanted to chime in on, but I'm more than welcome to help with, I'll help mosey this part along until we get to the Epstein list, because that's where the juicy yummies are.
Does she sound like she's all there?
I'm completely here. What do you mean? Stop. Be nice. You just haven't heard my voice in a while. I'm very chill. I'm very calm.
Since the New Year's Eve show.
Adults. And, So, let's go.
Q, would you believe it if I said that I have your voice recorded so I can listen to it anytime that Spanky wants to?
I know that you guys have little sound bites. It's fine. It's okay. I don't know which ones. Maybe we'll find out tonight. But TBD. Oh, okay. Oh, not those kind. Okay.
Not those.
Well played.
Those are for private. Those Spanky makes me play those for him late at night when he's taking a bath. If you listen to last week's show.
One of Spanky's favorites just entered Podbean.
I know, 2A Patriot Mama. Welcome, beautiful.
Hello.
All right, we got Naida Lyman. Welcome to the show. Okay, so no other takers. Hoff, you don't want to get in on this 620 patio, baby? I know you've got.
What about Mr. Eric? Eric doesn't have anything to talk about.
Where's Podfather?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like he's at the beginning of the train. I'm sorry. All right.
You know what? He might be in my show, waiting for me to show up.
Oh, well, he could be doing double duty. He could be hanging out with Slacker 82 Alpha and us, which I'm cool with because I love their show too. But anyway, all right.
I was just watching them on TikTok.
Yeah, they got a good show going on.
They had a very, very interesting guest, and it was very, very informative. I enjoyed it.
I don't want to tell y'all that it's a ufologist, somebody that knows something about the UFOs out there, because y'all bail on us and you'll head over there because that's really interesting stuff. But
it was.
All right, so here's the deal. The question is, will diversity, equity, and inclusion decisions that companies make end up killing people? My answer is yes, it will, and we already have evidence supporting that. I'm going to read you something here real quick, okay? Alaska Airlines and the United Airlines said on Monday that they have found loose parts on their 737 MAX 9 aircraft since they started inspecting some of their grounded Boeing jets. Now, I want you guys to understand the 737 MAX 9 is a brand new jet, hot off the assembly line, where all those people who are making $300 an hour are screwing down those rivets and bolts.
Or not.
Or in this case, not. Okay. And I just want to throw that out there because everybody knows what happened to Alaska Airlines at 16,000 feet. Hatch popped out, sucking people out of there on one of these new jets. Now, you may not know it, but Boeing, headquartered in Seattle, Washington, has one of the most aggressive corporate DEI organizations and policies in the world. Did you know that slightly?
I had no idea.
Oh, wow. Q, does that sound like something that you've heard before? Boeing?
Yeah, there's probably grants or some type of funding that is given for more inclusive employers. I would assume that's probably where it stems from.
I think you may be right. That pressure from the United States government, the FAA, the NTSB, all those folks. And there's a few other companies. General Motors. What does General Motors make? They make toys for China?
Yeah, something like that.
No, they don't make. They
make those vehicles that nobody buys.
Yeah.
Wait, they're still making cars?
Yeah. Well, at General Motors, they recognize that the world and their company must evolve toward a more equitable future. They believe that their company stands for more than just the products they build and sell and are focusing on standing for the dignity of people, justice, tolerance, and inclusion. So
it's more important nowadays for people to make sure we hire equitably instead of hiring people that know what the fuck they're doing.
It makes no sense. It's absolutely retarded.
Well, that brings us to our sponsor. So hang on here.
Today's show is brought to you by the Supreme Court. Okay, so we changed our minds. Sue us.
All right. I don't know if you heard, but back in June, the Supreme Court basically obliterated the affirmative action laws and requirements for the United States government and higher education. So you're not supposed to be looking at somebody in the color of their skin, but you're actually supposed to consider the content of their character. Do you see that going on anywhere?
No, because now it's just equity. It's not.
You mean like the White House?
I mean, let's see. Who's the speaker for Biden?
Clown Pierre?
Who's the vice president? Kamalama Ding Dong?
Oh, yeah. Kamalama. Yeah. Clown Pierre.
She's got enough experience that warrant her to be VP.
Well, she's a lesbian.
Yeah, well, not when I've talked to Mr. Brown. That's inaccurate.
Is that inaccurate? Okay, well, she's a woman of color. So that right there, across the board, that gives her the bona fides to be standing at that podium lying to all of the American people. I think that works out well. Okay, so we've got Genentech. Do you anybody know what Genentech does in this world?
I have never heard of that.
I need Google or help me out.
Well, they're a scientific company. They're on a mission to create scientific innovations that drive better outcomes for people, patients, businesses, and communities. Basically, healthcare. So,
look at that path, though. I'm just going to hire Chinese people.
Hey.
That's equitable, right?
It is. No, I'm sorry. No, you can't. There's too many Chinese people in this world. I'm sorry. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Well,
can you say that? Is that
well, Xi Jinping will come over here and shut us down. We're not on a Chinese network at YouTube. So you may not be able to watch us on YouTube, guys. Sorry about that.
There's a lot communist that's going on. I'm just saying. A lot of stupid bull crap going on that might lean towards communist agenda, but hey. Okay, anyways, moving forward.
I think all the people that are running the government at this moment, all the Gen Zers and the millennials who are controlling Biden, are communists and socialists. All right, so we run down.
It, not me.
There you go. You're a Gen X chick. You and Slightly are Gen X's. You're not Gen Z's or millennials, are you?
Thank God.
I don't even really know how that works. I'll be 38 this year, so wherever that lands me.
Shit, she's a fucking Gen Z.
But I don't feel like I don't know. Whatever. Move forward.
Whatever. All right. So Salesforce, they're not really doing anything other than, just making sure people make deals and get sales. But I want to take a look here at Asana. Asana, interesting company, recruiting for the future. So they're placing people in workforces, kind of like not Salesforce, but
Workforce.
Yeah, they find people and they say that they're qualified, so they say hire them. You need a surgeon? Here, I got him for you, right here. Good guy, right color skin. Don't know what his credentials are. He could or he may not be licensed by any state boards anywhere.
Oh, wow.
Banner Health. Yep. Banner Health. Another great workforce, placing nurses, CNAs, those kind of people. You wouldn't even know if the nurse that was attending to you in the ER came out of Banner Health or Asana or anything like that, would you?
You wouldn't, and that kind of scares me now. I mean,
why?
Look at like here in Las Vegas, right? I'm a little skeptical about receiving medical care here.
Yes.
It's and nowadays you walk in, you get a doctor thrown at you, you know nothing about them, and God only knows if they're there because of DEI.
Not to disparage any
nice tie in there
group, but here in the state of Oklahoma, most of the doctors that we have are from India, Africa, or the Middle East. There's nobody from America that seems to be going to medical school here.
I wonder why. Why is that? I mean, are they not getting, admit to medical school, or what's going on?
It's too hard.
Are they all lawyers?
Yeah, there you go. They've all moved into the legal industry. They're suing everybody for not being DEI compliant. It's very rarely do I ever come across a doctor. And this is weird because my daughter is a nurse. Okay. She works in a hospital, in the ER, and she complains of not being able to understand ER physicians. I don't know. Do they have English speaking American physicians in other places? Arizona, Cubella?
I would assume.
Wait, you're saying she, as an English speaker, is having a hard time communicating with other people within her workplace?
Yes.
That
is what I'm saying.
I would say that's probably a problem. I mean, yeah, diversity is obviously a good thing, but if it comes to a point where you're not able to maneuver throughout your workday with communication, that's obviously not a beneficial aspect to anybody's workday. So F diversity, if that's where it's going to lead to a lack of communication, we might as well be, just after the fall of the Tower of Babel. I'm just saying.
There we go. We got Tower of Babel. I think that's where it is leading to, because you have parts falling off of airplanes that can cause deaths. And I think these are, Boeing has gone out there and they said, we're trying to increase our diversity, equity, and inclusion workforce. We're going to hire people based on looks, not whether or not they went to school, MIT or whatever.
Can I ask, are you correlating those two things together? Or, I mean, is this not something that's ever happened before and we're blaming it on the DIE, or how are we joining these two ideas? Just wondering.
Well, I believe you see the correlation is because it's happening more, and it's almost in the innocuous.
That could just be due to, I'm just being devil's advocate here, but this could be just due to lackadaisical inspections or protocols, cutbacks. Your budgets are being cut back, so you have less people to do inspections or proper training. We can't say specifically that it has anything to do with the diversity or the inept of the people that are being put into these positions.
In this case, I would agree with you, but I think the fact of the matter is that it just so happens that Boeing is all about DEI. And this is just one example. And is this something that is going to be coming up more and more as we go through, more of these companies getting into hiring based on diversity, equity, and inclusion?
But they're such a high and predominant company. How would they not take time to think, well, can my associates communicate with one another? That can't be something that they've bypassed in their planning. So what is the purpose then? Did somebody really drop the ball, or was this for a reason?
I mean, it's just unimaginable how.
Exactly.
Like you said, we have no idea
thinking, why is it like this?
We have no idea who's responsible for this exact incident. For all we know, we have somebody that should be working at McDonald's making $20 an hour in California. Working on a plane that, millions of people rely on staying up in the air and things not falling to the ground.
Yeah, that's the idea. Exactly.
So, Scooter, what was the thing that the Supreme Court just...
What's so funny right now? I'm lost.
Scooter, what was the Supreme Court... What did they just knock down in the colleges? I forget what it was called.
Affirmative action.
So we got rid of affirmative action for college students, but now we've reintroduced it for the workforce through diversity, equity, and inclusion. As a former business owner, why would I want to hire people that don't have the experience to perform a job just so I can collect federal dollars? I mean, it's just like the Supreme Court knocked that down. I always said, well, that's kind of racist that making a college accept applications just to fulfill certain races.
Of course, it's about the money.
And the same thing, in my opinion, diversity, equity, and inclusion. All these organizations such as the LGBT and other groups, they were at one time all about equality. They changed the E word from equality to equity.
Yes.
That's what's going on right before our own very eyes. And I don't know about you, but in America, don't you want the best qualified person having the job, doing it right, over someone just fulfilling a percentage of, oh, well, they're this color or that color, so we need to hire them so we get some extra bucks from Biden.
Or we don't want to get shook down by Biden and have the labor board come in and audit our books and shut us down so we can't do business. But think about it here. The Boeing CEO admitted they made a mistake in manufacturing. Says mid-air blowout can never happen again. Dave Calhoun, the CEO for Boeing, acknowledged errors by the U.S. plane makers. More than 170 jets remain grounded for a fourth day, telling the staff that they had to ensure that accidents like this should never happen again. Come on.
I guarantee you that. I mean... And you know what? Maybe it won't, because, as the Consumer Electronics Show is here in Las Vegas this week, the case is all about AI. So maybe we'll get rid of all colors in the workforce. So we'll just have machines do everything.
But see, here's the problem. People have to program the machines, because now you're going down another rabbit hole, because artificial intelligence does not exist. A machine cannot think for itself. The only thing that a machine can do is make decisions based on parameters that you give it. If you tell it you want a picture of a raven-haired, blue-eyed beauty singing a cappella, it can do that because somebody has programmed it.
So we're fucked. It's going to be communism everywhere.
That's the truth. That's the truth. But here's the problem. So we've got Boeing, GM maker of cars, fine cars that blow up whenever you least expect it. Ford, Chrysler, Daimler, Benz, Fiat, Fix It Again, Tony. I don't know who is Chrysler even owned by these days?
I have no idea.
I think it's China now. I think China owns Chrysler. But here's the thing. You put your family in these cars that are being assembled by these people that are hired for their looks or their ethnicity. Don't know if they can turn a wrench. They certainly cannot tighten the bolts, because Boeing found out.
Wait, hold on. You know what? I just thought of this, Scooter. You know what concerns me the most about this DEI?
What?
Pretty soon I'm going to be having fucking white people make my Chinese food.
Oh!
Bada bing, baby.
That's it. Oh my God. And my Mexican food. Holy shit.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
You might as well start eating Mexican food in Georgia.
I was gonna say, I hope Taco Bell does it for you, because yeah.
Well,
favorite Mexican food.
That's not Mexican food. I'm sorry. Taco Bell is not Mexican. We can debate that all night.
I'm not going to get an argument with him about that.
That's made by millennials and teenagers that don't wash their hands. So yeah, I don't even want to go down that road. Yeah, Taco Bell. Shit.
Going back to our story, I mean, DEI can affect people's lives. I definitely believe you're correct.
It can kill people.
It's really harsh to go to the automatic. Will it cause people to die? That was like hard for me to like. Can we just really like have like suffering and like or loss of job or something like that? But to like go automatically to die, I was like, whoa.
Loss of life. You get that DEI blessed doctor who diagnoses your appendicitis as menstrual cramps, and I'm sorry, you're dead. What do you do about it? It doesn't work.
Pun intended.
Well, if I hit the part of the month that was accurate, I don't. Yeah.
No, DIE like.
Okay, DIE, DEI. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe we should change the DIE, diversity, inclusion, and equity, and then you die.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's the 2 and 2 I was putting together. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I like that.
That was very good. All right, so we're going to be moving on here, but first, just a brief word from one of our other sponsors. I apologize for this, but they made me do it, so just hold on.
Hey, Jester, your yeast infection gone yet?
Spanky, I'm baking some delicious bread. Want some?
Jester, good God, put down the sex toys. Pay attention here. Hey, make sure you join Jester, Scooter, and me, Spanky, Saturday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Beans and Weenie Show is doomed.
Most Saturday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Rumble and Podbean. Scooter, I think Ma escaped.
All right, damn it. Who hid my leg?
I really miss butternuts.
Yeah, I noticed Jester said most Saturday nights. That must mean most days he'll show up.
When he decides that he wants to.
He must own the copyrights to the show by now or something. I don't know.
No. Trademark copyrights are mine. It's mine. I know better.
Put an ending to this. So, yes, I agree with you. DIE or DEI is definitely detrimental. People can die from it. But not only that, it's bad for society. And I'll just end with that.
Well, I'm going to go one further. I think it's bad for business, and I think it's bad for our economy.
It is. And the other thing, it's going to stifle innovation.
I don't think there is any innovation involved with DEI. I'm sorry. And nobody wants to work anymore. Q, any final thoughts?
Now I'm ready to move on to the big bucks, baby.
Moving on to the big bucks. All right. So I said, let's talk about the Epstein list. But first, I have a bigger question. I'm going to read to you a little story here. It's from the Rolling Stone, and this was just updated back in November 8th of 2023, before we changed over. So here's the deal. The Justice Department alleges that elected officials and government contractors were among the clientele of an interstate prostitution network. Where was this prostitution network, you ask? Hey, Shaggy, where was it? Why, it was in Washington, D.C.
Oh, my.
Who was running the prostitution and brothel? Well, let me tell you, it was Han Lee, Junmayang Lee, both of the suburbs of Boston, and James Lee of Torrance, California. They're all Chinese in nature and ethnicity.
Very interesting.
So this came out back in November. They made the arrest. They said, we've got this long list of clients. They're all people with security clearances. They're all elected officials. Have you heard anything about that since then?
This is the first I've heard about it. I mean, I know about prostitution here in Las Vegas, but not much about it in D.C. It doesn't surprise me.
It's one of many little black books, I presume.
Does anybody remember the madam in New York that had the book that everybody feared she was going to release the names?
Are you talking about Maxwell?
No, not Jizzle.
Couldn't be.
Not Jizzle. This goes back a few years. This was back in the 70s. This is when Senator Edward Ted Kennedy used to frequent New York to visit Heidi Fleiss, the Long Island Madam. Does anybody remember Heidi Fleiss?
I'm not that
I remember Heidi, yes.
Your mic switched over to the computer again.
Yeah, how about now? Is it
Now you're perfect. Okay. See, 620 patio. So anybody that's older than 40 would remember Heidi Fleiss.
Yes, that's the only one I remember.
And for those of us that don't, can you throw me a bone here?
I'm going to give you a bone. She
okay.
ran an exclusive prostitution ring on the East Coast. She catered to high-end clients like senators and congressional representatives and even maybe a president or vice president or two.
So female Epstein. Okay, got you.
Female Epstein, but she didn't traffic teenagers. They were all over 18.
Yeah, and willingly. And
How
they
do
were
we
all
know
willing.
that? Okay, anyway, moving forward.
They were bringing down the big bucks. So I want to know where this list is, because an affidavit from a special agent with the Department
Why
of...
do you need the list if they're over 18? It's prostitution. If we're talking sex with minors, that's a whole nother fucking freaking thing.
Okay, all right.
But
let me ask you a question, Q. Hold on, James. Yeah. Hold on. Okay.
Hi, Shorty.
Hi, Shorty. Angie is in here. My Scotland.
Hi, Angie.
Yeah, Scottish princess is here. Marzi, everybody. Mike Leon. And I was trying to...
Okay, what's your question?
Okay, so do you...
Over 18, under 18. There's a
No.
difference.
Here's the deal. Do you believe that laws are there for everybody or just some people?
They should absolutely be there for me. If they're there for me, they should be there for somebody. Just because we're in a different tax bracket or we help make laws doesn't make a difference. Laws are laws are laws are laws.
Okay, so let me just posit this thought, because the only place that I know of where prostitution is legal and regulated is in James's City in the state of Nevada.
Oh,
yeah. The Tenderloin, there's certain areas.
No, the Tenderloin district. It is not legal
but
in California.
But we're not okay. Are we not going to address the fact that there's a difference between trafficking and prostitution? You have to understand that these kids that were diddled with were not receiving compensation. There is a complete difference. Okay, that needs to be addressed. I'm not sure where you're leading with this, but if we're talking about the Epstein list, we're not talking about prostitution. There's two different things going on.
Well, I've got to tell you, and here's my thoughts on the entire situation. It's illegal on the East Coast, so I don't think anybody should be visiting a prostitute. Prostitution leads to violence. It leads to death. It leads to, and it doesn't matter if they're underage or overage. You shouldn't be doing that, period. You shouldn't be trafficking
Should we
people.
maybe be calling it SA instead of prostitution so people aren't getting confused? Like there's a when you're, I don't know if you're using the word prostitution to be safe or if you're legitimately meaning like, okay, so a prostitute, like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Not really. I'm old. See, back in the day, we had prostitutes walking the streets, and it was illegal.
Okay. Yes, that is illegal.
Okay.
Yes, except for in the state of Nevada. Okay.
Nevada.
But if we are going to talk about the Epstein list,
yes,
that is nothing to do with prostitution and everything to do with human and sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking, underage, sexual crimes.
Could be sex trafficking as well, though, Scooter, because look at the last names of these people that are being alleged of the prostitution. Lees. So a lot of the Chinese gals come out here from China, be sexually trafficked.
What would they? You want to go to America? Here, you come. You work for me for 5 years. I will give you your passport and your papers when you finish your 5 years. But you got to lay on your back, and you got to be with big, fat, sweaty guys.
So there's an understanding there, isn't there? But when you're 4 or 5 years old and you get nabbed because there's some big guy that makes a lot of money, that has a list that says, I want a child of this age, of this gender, of this ethnicity, with this color hair and this color eyes, you find me that kid and I will get you $10,000.
Yep.
They find that kid. They'll take a picture. They'll stalk that kid for a week if they need to. They'll send a picture to their head honcho and like, this worked for you, and they'll get a thumbs up. Next thing you know, that kid is fucking on the back of a milk carton, if that even existed anymore. But guess what? It doesn't. Now, when's the last time you seen a missing kid on a carton, milk carton? They don't do that anymore.
Nope.
I agree with Q in the aspect of the whole Epstein thing and all that is a hell of a lot worse than the prostitution going on. They're both immoral and wrong.
Where it's not solicited.
I think.
Sorry, I'll be quiet.
I think I love it. I think it's a symptom. I think they are all symptoms of the same immorality.
And it's what basically our government has been able to profit on is the bodies of children. You can only use, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard this time and time again, and if you haven't, let this sink in. You can use drugs. How many times? One time and it's gone. How many times can you use a child? Over and over and over until you've expelled it.
I'm with you there. I don't think you are on the wrong track, but I'm saying.
I know I'm not, and that's why I've been expelled from multiple profiles and platforms here and there over the last year, since 2016.
But here's the deal.
I can't talk about this on any profile anymore.
Q, you're going to get me banned? What? No.
I don't mean to, but...
Honey, I ain't worried about it. Here's the thing. It's immorality, and it's wrong. And you're right. The people at the highest levels of government, the highest levels of the corporation that have the money that can squash you, they do it to protect themselves. You're not going to see this list from this brothel and prostitution ring, and you're not going to see the names from the Epstein list.
We absolutely will, and we are.
I hope so.
If you haven't seen them already, you've been missing things.
But
It's
why
out.
are names still being redacted? Because
Yes.
people are scared of their lives, or are they
So
that
there was
big of a
130 something. I'm sure there's somebody out there that could tell me. I've been so I've stepped away from a lot of this just because it's stuff that I looked into a long time ago and it never ever happened. And it's finally coming to fruition now, but there's a lot of details that are very, very fuzzy. But I think there's about 137 names. I hate to be accurate, but I feel like that's the number that have been redacted. And the court judge recently stated, no, we're going to go ahead and release these names. And that's what's huge conspiracy that before those names are actually released to the public, there's going to be an EMP or something to set the grid off so that we can't even access the information. But it's weird how things tie together, right?
But see, here's the thing. I just said you're never going to know all the names on that list. You know Bill Clinton's on the list because he's high profile, and he said, I wrote on the Lolita Express, and I like them young. But
he has no standing. He's lost every bridge. There's nothing that the Clintons have anything to keep them elevated from this corruption coming about in full public view. There's nothing to keep them safe anymore. So as that continues to happen with more and more people, there's going to be more and more information that comes about because the people that are protecting those people from the information coming out are no longer there to protect them. And we just don't know that they're gone yet.
I'm gonna go with you there, and I'm gonna agree with that. And I mean, here I've got some of the names that appeared. Now, you got to understand, this is not from the trial of Jizzle Maxwell. This actually is from the young lady that is suing to make these names public. One of the young ladies that was trafficked.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Are we talking about flight logs, or are we talking specifically because there are names on the flight logs that, yes, rode on that plane, but never went to Epstein Island?
Right.
So we have to be specific when we are talking about whether it is a flight log with a particular destination or with a +1 female or +2 females. When they're underage, they're not given names. They're just given a detail as whether they're gendered or, just want to make sure that we're being specific when we're talking about this list.
Based on the article, I believe these are names from Epstein's diaries, correct?
That is correct. These are from the civil suit and the legal allegations that were made against these people. There's 170 of these names. Director of the CIA, William Burns, Catherine Rumler, White House counsel to Barack Obama, Noam Chomsky, billionaire, Lawrence Summers, Harvard president, names like that. And, of course, Woody Allen and Bill Gates and Thorbjørn Jagland, former Norwegian prime minister, Ehud Barak, former Israeli prime minister, and the chairman for Barclays, one of the largest financial institutions in the world, Jess Staley. So these are some of the names, the high-profile names, people that they're going to jettison, that no longer can do anything for them, or no longer in power. Noam Chomsky, he's not doing anything. Bill Gates is running around trying to get us to eat bugs. Who cares about Bill Gates?
And how many of those names are people that have already resigned just at the beginning of the new year due to the law in regards to having to expose certain information?
Exactly. They're going into hiding, basically. So that's...
And here's the other Scooter. I mean, yes, we got all these names, but how are we going to go after them? I mean...
Can I go conspiracy on that, AES?
Please, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the only this, not necessarily just as an FYI to anybody that is listening, I am not completely psychotic. I've taken in a lot of information. This is just one little tidbit I'm going to share with you. What if, frick, it just left my brain.
Take another shot. Slow down. We've got plenty of time. At least.
What were we just talking about? It was something to do with falsehoods. to do with like a trap in a sense. God, I lost it. Let's move on and maybe it'll come back to me. Son of a biscuit. I lost myself in the disclaimer, unfortunately.
You get lost in a disclaimer. I'm disclaiming.
Not necessarily something that I believe, but something that I'd heard. Oh God, I lost it. I don't remember. What was the last thing we were talking about?
So aside from the names coming out and people being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe such and such is on this list," what's going to happen to these people? Because time has gone by so long that
pulled it back. All right. So the only reason that this stuff is coming out is because these people are most likely already dead. They have already had their military tribunals, been hung, whatever the hell their thing was. They're dead. They're gone. People that we are seeing now in the public view are puppets or just bad actors. They're in place to keep the other people that have not yet been brought to justice and are still acting upon certain programs or things that are still in play that are necessary to go out so that they continue so that the people that have been working on kind of under wraps but on the good side are able to let them continue with their shenanigans to a point where we can say gotcha and the public can see for themselves that they've been corrupt from the beginning. So there's a plot to let so much come to public view, but only so much can come to public view once certain people have been dealt with, if you would say. So that's the idea behind kind of why is it taking so long, or why now? Well, there's many reasons for why now, but whether it's biblical or not, can basically let.
I believe part of it is biblical.
Be to judge.
I don't think it, for the most part. Now, I love Chels. I love you, and I love what you're saying. Nothing can stop what is coming. I would hope that is the case. I do not.
It's Jesus, in a sense.
Well,
is that what you're saying?
Or the retribution against these folks who have committed these heinous acts. There should be some sense of justice towards them. They should not be immune to following the law. I'm just saying here. But here's the deal. I don't believe
to been immune for so many. There's been 6. If you believe in old tales, there's been 6 rounds of not creation but civilization that have been destroyed, and every time the cataclysm comes that leads to the next desolation of humanity, the only people that are left are the people that are knowing and continue this vicious cycle of slavery, without the chains. So right now we're at a precipice where we've got enough good people that are, we might have this cataclysm at our door, our back door, and we're not going to allow the bad guys to be the victors. And when the time, the civilization resets, the idea is that we're going to have the good people at the helm instead of the bad people.
I like the way you're thinking.
But at what point does it reset? I mean, we're living in a society right now where
it's going to become nuclear. There's going to be some type of nuclear event. It's going to be basically, you hear it's going to be biblical. We're going to have we have the alien onbringing, right? So we have these aliens that are going to come and tell us, oh, don't believe in Jesus, he's leading you astray. When all along these aliens are actually demons, opposition to Jesus. So when Jesus does come down, we're not going to believe. Hypothetically, again, I'm not crazy. These are all theories, things that I've kind of brought together and I've tied into, the conspiratorial aspect, along with, I have read about over 3/4 of the Bible. I haven't finished it, but these are my ideas. There's going to be an event, and we're going to be delusioned because of our we've been just lied to. So when the event actually happens, we're not going to believe it, and we're going to perish. That's what I feel is happening. Deep shit, right? My bad.
No, I love it. I think I love the way you're going. And there's other things that I would love to say here, but I don't think we are coming into that time yet. I don't think there's going to be justice for these people. I don't believe you're going to get to know the other 125 names on Jeffrey Epstein's visit logs, not the flight logs.
I think we're close. I disagree.
I agree with you, Scooter. You're going to see all the names. Just like, I mean, these people are going to get away with it. There's going to be no retribution, no criminal actions taken against them. They're not going to be subpoenaed. They're not going to be anything. We live in a society right now where there are no laws. You can go into a store in California and steal up to $1,000 worth of shit and nothing's going to happen to you. You can jump across our borders and get free shit, get free housing, free cell phones, free medical care. There's no laws. And until the American people wake the hell up and start doing things about it, because the government's not going to do anything to help us. And I don't foresee that happening.
I think God's on our side. If you've done something to a kid or an innocent victim, your time is near. You're not going to make it through. It's not going to be okay.
And I think.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Q. Hey, James. Hey, Scooter. I think you, Q, along with Patriot Mama and Shells and Miss Dixie and a couple other friends might sum it up best. If you commit a heinous act on a child, in our books, you've committed an unpardonable sin.
Yes. Well, even in the Bible, Jesus says, if you harm a hair on a child's head, then there is no lake deep enough for that millstone that's going to be hanging around your neck for you to surface from.
What about if you sniff the hair?
There's a millstone for that.
Not even Biden's going to be safe. Don't try to pretend like that one.
And I'm going to add to what James said just a while ago about the government. And I even say this on the Old Man's podcast show, too. The government is not your friend.
Never has been.
Nope.
It's only there to control you and regulate you. Exactly.
We're just a number to them.
All right, hang on. Go ahead, James.
Nida in chat over on Podbean, she brought up, what if you're not religious, though, Q?
You don't have to be religious to know that okay. I don't know what I don't consider myself to be a religious person. I do not attend church. I don't regularly pray. I talk to God when I feel like I need to about things that are important. My relationship with him is not specifically strong, but I do believe that there is an entity out there. Okay. That helps me.
All right.
If you have a faith, that is good. I am comfortable with that. If you don't have a faith, I have people in my family that have no faith. I'm fine with that. It's a belief. It's a faith. It doesn't have to be a religious thing. I might have lost the path here, but
nope.
There's still morality. There's still goodwill in people, and that doesn't have to come from a religious place or I really think that it all stems from a certain level of morality.
Q, I want to sum this up a little bit because this is my personal belief. You all can take me to task on it. I don't care. Here's the deal. Religion is man-made. Religion is a set of rules that man said, hey, I'm as good as God, so here's what we're going to do. You can't drink coffee. You can't dance if you're a Baptist. You have to take the sacrament if you're Catholic. If you're Muslim, then you have to follow the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad and so on and so forth. And man wants to control, and there we go, slavery still exists because man wants to control every aspect of somebody else's life. And I'm a Christ follower because if you read that second half of the Bible, that gospel, the only thing that it talks about is love. All right.
Yes.
Love is the reason for existing. loving your neighbor. You had 10 commandments in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, you've got 2 commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your body, all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. So it's all about love. Love cancels out everything else. And you've got religion. And Naida, I've got to say atheists, that's just a funny term because everybody worships something. If you're an atheist, you have a God, whether it's your career, whether it's your financial status, whether it's your social influencing followers, everybody worships. I mean, one of the greatest Jewish songwriters.
There's no way you can go through life without having something to look up to.
Yeah.
If it's yourself, then that might be borderline. You might need to check yourself. That you might be borderline evil, like satanic. You know, like you don't want to worship yourself. You don't want to worship idols, but there has to be there. That might be wrong for me to say. Eric, you've got something.
Well, I mean, I identify as like a spiritual Christian, you know, because I'm not overly religious, because I'm not a judgmental type. In fact, I prefer to be like open-minded to see what's out there. But I do believe that there is like a higher power in existence. And I believe that when we die, that creator could say, well done, good and faithful servant, or he could say, depart from me, I never knew you.
And the worst part about it is for a lot of people living their life thinking that they know that creator, and then they come to that pearly gate or whatever the mechanism is through the threshold, and they're told, you know, depart from me, I never knew you, you never knew me, you know, whatever the saying is how does one actually know whether or not they've done what it takes to be accepted?
Right.
I'm kind of excited. You guys are pushing. Hey,
to not be.
All right, Q.
To not be accepted. Yes.
Let's take a break here because I mean, James brought up a great point. You guys are going to push us into the stratosphere. We're going to start getting religious show numbers. So keep it going. Oh yeah.
Wait, are we being?
Hey, the download numbers
are we being stipend, or are we being?
Oh, we're getting people
empowered.
We're getting people. WV Pappy came back, and you know he purveys hate speech all over the place. But God love him. Hopefully, he's not in the bottom of the mine right now. We love you, WV Pappy. Oh man, this is fantastic. But I'm gonna shut this down because I don't believe, and I think James, you're on the same page with me. We're not going to see all of the names on the Epstein list. They're going to protect themselves.
I agree with you 100%.
Right.
I'd be willing to put money on that.
Yep.
And I'm kind of guy.
Well,
I'll put money on the fact that the people that are protectors are gone. So.
Well, and I would also say this: they're probably like kicking themselves because they want so badly for Donald Trump to be on that list, and I think that they got quite a surprise when they see that Donald Trump wasn't on that list.
Well,
so to clear the air, he is on the flight logs, but he never went to the island. He went from New Jersey to Florida.
Yep. With his wife.
There was a guy who came a few years back saying that she had tapes showing Trump with the girls and all that. But after that occurred, she retracted all her statements.
Yes, because she's a stupid C-U-N-T, and she knows what's right for her.
Hey, it's the Beans and Weenie show. You can say it. You don't have to spell it. She was a cunt. And all the obfuscation.
I've been trying to moderate my language. Now you say something.
I love you. Don't worry about it, Q. This is come on. You're at home here. So we need to put a pin in this. Maybe we can revisit it if we can talk slightly into coming back next Wednesday. We can.
I would love to. And this is my niche.
There you go.
This is my niche.
And this is and Slightly's going to crawl in a niche soon, probably. But that's a whole different story. That's for a Saturday night show. All right, so
it's warm.
We've got to get to something that's near and dear to Slightly's heart. I asked this question earlier. I've got to ask, who is Deobra Redden? I don't know if you guys remember the story, okay?
It's a man or a woman?
It's a dude. It's a dude. This is the guy who launched himself over the bench at the Democratic liberal judge in domestic violence women's court in Clark County. Was it Clark? Yeah.
Clark County, Nevada. Yeah.
Yep. Mary Kay Holthus.
I feel like Siri should be able to tell us the correct pronunciation of his name by now.
I tried that. Doesn't work. DuckDuckGo doesn't even know.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's Diobra is how they pronounce it on the news.
Okay, Diobra. All right. And so everybody remembers this, but here's the deal. The man who brazenly attacked the Las Vegas judge was back in court, finally to be given his sentencing, and he went before the same judge, Mary Kay Holthus. But I want to know, who is Diobra? What got him into court?
Squirrel. He's a flying squirrel. Just saying. Nobody can do that maneuver unless you're a flying squirrel.
I would have to say that you are very close to being correct. But here's the thing.
He is a nut.
He is. All right. So this last time, our man Redden, because that's all I'm going to call him by, appeared in court with his mother. Okay. He has 3 previous felony convictions and 9 misdemeanor convictions on his record, according to court documents in Clark County. So we're going to start off in 2012. Redden was convicted of assault causing bodily injury to a family member. A judge sentenced him to 45 days in jail. That's number 1. Number 2, in 2013, next year. The next year, Redden was convicted 3 times. 3, not 1, not 2, 3 times for domestic battery. He was ordered to attend anger management classes, spend 2 months in jail, and pay a fine for all 3 cases.
Was that after the first or the second or the third?
That was, I think that's like the 9th, because the records only let me go back so far. But that was 2013. This is the second instance that we're talking about. 2014. Right. 2014. Redden was convicted for attempted theft. A judge sentenced him to probation, which he violated several times. They have this on record. Okay, this young man, I don't know if we can call him a young man, 30 years of age, I believe, is where he's at.
Mental.
Squirrel man.
Here you go. IQ is up there about 57, 58.
I can't. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, okay. All right. So during his probation and into 2018, Redden was convicted of battery with substantial bodily harm. The judge honorably discharged him from probation in 2020 and again in 2021. He was serving multiple probations on top of each other. Is this DEI in the legal industry?
I was going right there with
He's somebody's baby daddy, just saying.
So what is it going to take? I mean, the next thing he's going to do is go out and murder somebody. I mean, that's the path he's on.
Do you know that he has not? Have they just not caught him yet?
That you never know.
No, I mean, I can't say that.
I mean, at what point do we start holding people accountable? I mean, what does it take?
If you're a Democrat, never.
What level you want to start at? I mean,
he might start working at General Motors for all we know. Who knows?
Boeing. He's the one. He was doing He was putting the rivets on the escape hatch on the 737 MAX 9s. Yep.
So at the end of the day, what do you do with people like this, though? On a serious note, I mean, obviously he's gone through mental health, mental health help. Mm-hmm. He's gotten in trouble with the judicial system. They've given him a break multiple times.
He needs to go sit for a bit.
In society at this point.
He needs to go sit for a bit. He needs to go sit for a bit.
Well, now, okay, so
tell the kids he's in college, whatever it takes.
In 2021, now wait a minute. In 2021, after he was honorably discharged from his probation, he was convicted again for domestic battery, and he was sentenced to prison for 12 to 30 months. Now, domestic violence. What is domestic battery? That's when you beat up a family member or your spouse or a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the
That's
most
the
evil
allegation,
crime of?
That's the charge.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
That's anytime you have an argument in your house and the police arrive, it's a domestic battery incident. Okay. The parole board in Clark County granted this man parole in 2022. Didn't even serve out his 12 to 30 months. He got popped, went to jail.
Now, would the same thing be said if he were not a part of the DEI, though? Serious question. Honestly,
man.
It's a fair question.
Well, you would think the polar opposite, actually, because of the ethnicity of this man. So the fact that he
I
is
think we're
African American and has had the leniency that he's received kind of contradicts the whole game plan of racism, doesn't it?
in today's society, though, you're kind of seeing the opposite part of things, to where people of color are getting the breaks. It's opposite racism. You'll see. Look through a case, and you'll see that gentleman. I didn't even call this guy a gentleman because of the shit that he's done. But this piece of crap what has he had to suffer for everything he's done? I mean, he again in 2020, what was it, 2022, he freaking robbed a house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy doesn't belong here.
Now,
so Shep is saying that they're saying it's schizophrenia and he's bipolar.
Yeah, but okay, so let's go back. Let's go back just a moment. All right. So why did he get upset in court? What was his reason for getting upset? Does anybody know?
I didn't follow it that close.
Well, let me tell you, because I did follow it. Because this young man went into court with his mother and he wanted probation.
Oh, that's right. Then the judge refused the probation.
That is correct. And then he did the high jump maneuver, did a Fosbury flop, came over and started pummeling the judge, Mary Kay Holthus. All right. Now, what did they charge him with after he did the Fosbury flop over the judge's desk? Does anybody know?
Whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whole bunch of stuff.
But there are like 7 counts.
But what was the most serious count? Class 1 felony in Clark County in the state of Nevada. What was that? Does anybody know?
Oh,
something about assaulting a federal judge?
Nope. No? Attempted murder.
Oh, on her?
Attempted murder. Yes.
Wow. So he had no weapon on him, but it was attempted murder.
You don't have to have you don't have to have a weapon to be charged with attempted murder. You can murder somebody with your bare hands. You can murder them with a car, vehicular manslaughter. You can murder them with a pipe. You can murder them with poison.
Okay, so what are you getting to here?
Okay, so here's where I'm going. So he came back in front of the same judge. And he was wearing the Hannibal Lecter outfit. He had mittens on his hands. He was chained. Barbaric treatment. Oh gosh, barbaric.
Hey, what I guarantee you, he didn't catch COVID because he was masked.
Yes, he was masked underneath the spit hat. Yes, that's where you can't spit at people if you're wearing that kind of mask. It just kind of gets all. I don't know how that. Spanky told me. That's how that spit guard works. But so he came before her and she sentenced him. She said, "You're a terrible person. You've got all of these felonies. You've got all these convictions. So here's what we're going to do. You're not getting probation. I'm sending you to jail with a sentence of 19 to 48 months." What? A year and a half to maybe...
Still not enough.
For attempted murder?
Yes.
Because the allegations wouldn't stick if he were to try it. That's why.
Why wouldn't they stick? He did it.
It's not like he was going over to give her a kiss.
I'm sure there's a judge or an attorney out there that would fight the attempted murder.
Oh, they would. They would fight it all day, and that's why they're coming out and saying it's bipolar and he's schizophrenic and he's got all kinds of mental illness. He's transgender too. So
he's obviously got something wrong with him. If you're gonna try and leapfrog to the judge, like, bro, you've got something wrong with you.
Yes. Okay. So number one, it should have been charged as a hate crime because any crime of passion is a hate crime. And number two, he should have been raised better.
So a hate crime has something to do with passion?
Yeah.
I thought hate crimes were associated to racism.
Well, it is, but see, the problem therein lies is that, okay, so here's the deal. In your little part of the country, that 68-year-old retired police chief riding his bicycle over there, does anybody remember that little case? Those two little thugs driving around in the stolen car ran over this 68-year-old man riding on his bike, and you don't remember that?
Vaguely. A year and a half or so ago.
Yeah, the first statement that the kid said after he got arrested, "You watch, I'll be out 30 days. This is just a hit and run. It's just a misdemeanor. I'll be out. You watch me." Because that's what they're raised to expect. Those are the expectations of the justice system in this DEI world. Hate me if you want to.
You're saying that the potential criminals or offenders have the wherewithal to know that I can commit a certain crime and will only have a certain sentencing?
Yes, that signifies intelligence, because they know they can get away with all of this. They run into the CVS's and the Walgreens and the Eckards, and they steal them blind because they know they're not going to go to jail.
So you're calling criminals intelligent?
There is a level of intelligence that goes along with it. Now, the thing is, it is hate. When you look at something, when I look at Slightly and I say, "You got a nice house. I don't think you should live in that house. I should live in that house, and I should have all that stuff. I'm going to come take it away from you forcibly." That's a hate crime. I'm sorry. I have hate and malice in my heart thinking he's got something that I don't have and he shouldn't have it. I'm going to take it away from him.
Or robbery. I mean,
but there's still hate behind it. And I do agree, the criminals are smart. I mean, look at the millions of criminals that have jumped across our border knowing that Biden's not inviting them.
And they get a phone and $2,000 a month stipend and free health care, and they get put up in posh, wonderful hotels, and then they blow them up if you're in Fort Worth, Texas, which we're just finding out, 44-year-old Middle Eastern immigrant. Illegal immigrant. We can't call them illegal. They're migrants seeking asylum.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes. They're seeking asylum. They want the better way of life.
Kids that are getting kicked out of school so that they can house my.
Give me started.
I mean, I think what it's coming down to, it's like, like these terrorist thugs are being hailed as martyrs, but it's not polite to call them thugs, even though it's the God's honest truth. And if you were to start putting these terrorists away in prison, you'd have the terrorist sympathizers crying like the Hindenburg disaster. Oh, the humanity.
All right, so as we run out of time here, boy, this took a lot more time, and I love this. This is something else we can revisit, too, next Wednesday. So one thing I want to remind you guys, Beans and Weenie Show is doomed, and this is the Beans and Weenie Show is slightly doomed with our lovely and talented co-host, James, from the Slightly Serious Show. James, are you going to be doing any shows upcoming on Slightly Serious?
We'll be doing some shows. I don't have anything scheduled right now. They're more or less impromptu shows, but you can follow us over on the Twitter. We'll let you know when we do shows at Slightly Serious. Mm-hmm. And generally, it's anywhere between, I would say, 3 p.m. Pacific to 8, somewhere between that window.
Perfect. All right. And for those of you watching, if you were watching on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, you would see Slightly's Twitter handle underneath his name there, at Slightly Serious on Twitter X or Twix. I don't know what the hell we call that platform anymore.
Well,
yep.
And also be on lookout for me to really share the hell out of James's show on Twitter X and on Podbean Podcast Nation on Facebook.
What did he say?
Huh?
Podbean Podcast Nation on Facebook.
Yes, Podbean Podcast Nation, Administrator Podfather Eric, and of course BP.
And BP49 there.
Yep, BP Good Eats, who started that for us. Thank you so very much. You can follow that on Facebook. Everybody has Facebook. I don't care who you are. You got Facebook. You may not have looked at it in 10 years, and it still sucks, but it is great when you follow the Podbean Podcast Nation group. I can tell you that right now. You find out all of the great shows that are going on. He posts on all of the stuff that's happening in the Podbean world. Laguna Knot, the Old Man Show, Podfather, help me rattle off some names because I'm old.
Well, I mean, you also have like the Potluck podcast. That's another awesome comedy podcast on Wednesday nights.
Potluck.
Then the political podcast, Slack 82 Alpha.
Yep.
And you also got another political themed podcast on Friday nights called The Swap Doesn't Lie.
Yep. We love this swap.
And I know you also got Crazy with the K, you got Milk Dog, you got Caps, you got Ralph, doing shows, and Frankie D, I mean, can't forget titties, right?
Can't forget titties. Frankie D in the afternoons, usually around my part of the world, about 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Titties! I was trying to type it in the chat and I forgot I was on the panel.
Well, we know. Anyway, SD
and
Patriot.
And you also got the Pulse podcast. That's a very awesome podcast with Brent and Scott, and you were in there last week for the variety show. Remember, Scooter?
Yep. The Pulse. That is awesome. And be sure.
James and Pertwee would really like that show.
There you go. But be sure to check out, number one, Slightly Serious. And Slightly Serious's podcast. You can be sure and follow him on Twitter. And don't forget, the Beans and Weenie Show is doomed Saturday night, which is completely 180 degrees different than anything that we've discussed this evening. I think you'd enjoy it. Now, the other good thing, if you go over to rumble.com, you go to the Beans and Weenie page down there, or the beansandweenieshow.com website, there's a little link that you can click to join the Beans and Weenie community. You can become a member of the Beans and Weenie community because guess what? We have after hour shows. That's right. We talk about all kinds of exciting things that you may not get to hear in the podcast. We stay away from micro penises, but we talk about other things that you would enjoy. So join the Beans and Weenie Show community. Become a member. Find out what's going on. You'll get you have an opportunity to win some merch from us because Spanky has been posting some very incredible trivia questions. All you got to do is answer it. Your name gets put in a hat. If you answer correctly, we draw your name out of the hat. You get a wonderful tumbler. You can see it out there on the beansandweenieshow.com community page. We're going to give away some other things. We're going to have lots of fun stuff going on. And I got brother Tim over in man, and you made a move, Tim. You left South Dakota, brother, and I'm not going to say where you're at, but congratulations to you. He just had a daughter, which is amazing. What, she's like a teenager now?
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, so congratulations. Glad you got out of there, and glad things are going good for you. We're going to go ahead.
Did you get my meat?
Not yet. You haven't. It says it still hasn't been entered into the shipping portal. The label's been printed.
No, I dropped that shit off at the post office the same day. So we must have some postal workers that are all about DEI working for us.
They probably opened it up and I'll never get it. I mean, that's the way the United States postal system. I love postal workers, but the government entity of the United States Postal Service sucks. I'm sorry. It's
everything.
Yeah, that's government run. But and here, that is a great segue. That's correct. The company, Slightly's company, Jerkaway, or Ohana Company, the Ohana family, has a product called Jerkaway beef chips. You can go out to jerkawayusa.com and you can order your own, very own beef chips. Got some fantastic flavors. We're going to be trying them out here on the show when they get here.
A beef chip.
Beef chip. It's like beef jerky, but it's good.
Okay, just checking.
crunchy, satisfying. Jerkawayusa.com. It is. He put it in the Podbean chat. I'm going to throw it over in the Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and over on Rumble.
BP's had some, and yeah, he says they're delicious.
Why did BP get some before I got some? What the hell is going on here?
Well, he and Big Sexy were friends. So.
He's got. Oh, you're slacking. That's all that.
Well, I'm
not you, Eric.
But when is Scooter going to say to BP49, "You're killing me, Smalls"?
No, I'm not going to say that. I would never say that. I would not say that. Anyway, so we're going to make a real quick jump here. I want to know if you guys remember the name Trevor Bauer, Major League Baseball player, phenom, pitcher.
He was paid. He was like had the biggest contract in Major League Baseball as a pitcher. Played for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yep.
And then an incident happened to where he was accused of beating. Well, I don't know, almost rape, I guess.
Yes, sexual assault.
And he just apparently, according to him, he just likes it having it rough in bed.
Yes. There's like websites that are devoted to that kind of sexual encounter.
Yeah. And yes, apparently the latest that I got was that they have amicably taken away their lawsuits against each other. He's playing ball in Japan. He's a free agent waiting for a Major League Baseball team to pick him up, but no, there's no takers.
Not yet. See, okay, so this is a long drawn out story. This occurred back in 2021, kind of around the COVID time frame. And Mr. Bauer has some sexual proclivities that he enjoys. He likes it a little rough. And he tries to find women that have the same kind of proclivities, a little S&M, a little BDSM, a little tying up, a little smacking, having a good time.
Christian Grey we're talking about?
What? No, we're not talking about Christian Grey. This is not 50 Shades of Weird.
It could be. I thought that's where we were going.
It could be, but this is real life. But here's the deal. So this young man, he had what he thought was consensual sex with this young lady. They did their thing, got a little bit of rough, and she filed charges against him, sexual assault, in Los Angeles County. Yes.
In one of the things, it happened twice.
Mm-hmm.
Here's on his defense. If she felt that there was sexual violence against her, a sexual assault against her, why the fuck did she get together with him a second time?
That's a very good question. That's a good question. And this story will lead to that answer because here's the thing, like everybody's knee-jerk reaction. Okay, so if somebody gets accused of something, what do? We crush them, we cancel them. They can't have their livelihood. You got to take away all their money, their house, everything, put them in a box, put them in the desert. That essentially happened to Trevor Bauer. He in the final result, without due process, Trevor Bauer received a 2-year suspension from Major League Baseball for violating the Major League Baseball's domestic abuse policy. I cannot emphasize this enough.
How did he violate the domestic violence policy without being convicted in front of a jury?
Exactly. He was
woke baseball now.
It is woke fuck baseball, Pertwee. I'm with you. He won't even listen to us. Yo, Doss, welcome into the show. So this poor man had his livelihood.
They're trying to take Trump off for the ballot for things he's not been actually accused of, but not found guilty of. So, I mean, shit happens, right?
Well, oh my God, that's a whole nother story. But this young man had his livelihood and his life ripped away from him just on the basis of an accusation. So what did he do? He defended his name. He defended his reputation. He countersued this young lady. Okay, it said, you're lying. You're completely fabricating the instance that we had together twice because you came back a second time. And it took him 2 years, but it finally worked out that Trevor got his name back. She dropped all of the charges. Nobody will file charges against her for false reports. I don't know why they won't do that. But the moral of the story here, which is kind of interesting. Don't sleep with people you don't know. But Trevor has come out and he said, you know what? I'm done with rough sex acts. That's it. No more. No punching women. None of that fun stuff or anything.
I mean, don't you just write up an agreement before you get into it? That's usually how things go.
Well, he thought he did. And the interesting thing after the lawsuits were amicably settled, he had access to all of the information to include her text messages, and he was able to put out all of her voicemails, in which turns out she was into it. She said, yeah, this is cool. I'm good with this. And the text messages to her friends is that I'm going to take him for everything he's got. I'm going to ruin his life. She was premeditated.
Blackmail. Yeah, blackmail. Yep. Exactly.
It was a premeditated
Follow
act.
the money.
So, I don't know. Here she is, Lindsay Hill. She's not even that cute in my book.
Not even that cute. Is that?
That's all relative, I guess.
Promiscuity has a lot to do with things.
Well, I'm old. She looks like a kid. I can't even.
Oh, I'm not looking at a photo, so.
Oh, well, you should be on Rumble, and you should be on the beansandweenieshow.com website, where it is being streamed live. And I do have pictures of Miss Lindsay Hill that accused him. So I just thought that was interesting, especially during the Me Too movement.
Yeah, well, I think the moral of the story is if you're rich, you just can't have freaky sex.
Or if you do, you got to keep them tied down in the box.
Keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
Or get in writing.
Under wraps, have somebody with a mutual understanding of what we're here
Non-disclosure agreements, get the attorneys involved. Then we're going to have a...
Yeah. Here's a pin, sign here on the dotted line.
There you go.
Kind of like a prenup.
What you don't like, I tell you what I don't like, and we don't touch those things, and we're happy.
What?
No.
Sorry, not what. I'm nothing.
But yeah, it's very clear. You want his cash. You wanted to defame him, and there was other allegations from other chicks, and apparently this was her name Lindsay Hill.
Yep.
She was in communication with these other people that were thinking of making allegations toward Bauer as well. Mm-hmm. And the judge, hey, you need to shut the fuck up and not discuss anything with other potential, people that are alleging having allegations against them.
Exactly.
So,
I don't know.
Maybe he needs to get the number for the prostitution ring in D.C.
You know what I'm thinking? Yeah, call the Lee brothers, and because that might go better.
There's a number really that easy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they had websites. These people that were in this,
you don't gotta know a guy that knows a guy. There's a number. You're gonna call up a yellow cab. It's that easy.
No, you call an Uber. There's a website. You go with a menu. It's Hunter used this. I mean, if you've followed any of the escapades of Hunter Biden, he would order his prostitutes. Yeah. Off of a menu. I don't want Asian. I would like Russian, Slavic, 32-ish, blonde hair, and
32. You got to be
freaky.
shitting me.
I don't know.
Well, at least if they're Slavic, they can't go over with allegations in English.
Oh, that's true. If you can't speak, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just saying.
It's all over there. Well. Oh man, I did everything on here, but you know what I didn't do? I didn't put together the ending, the song. Wow.
I'm not singing.
Why not? Q. Holy crap.
Because I'm on shot 9. It's not gonna happen.
Well, fine. Well, I'll just come up with something here. And we'll just call it a night. Thank you for joining us. Slightly. I loved having you here, baby.
It was great to be here. I appreciate the invite, and it was a blast. Can't wait to do it again. It'd be very fun.
Exactly. I'll have my shit together next time. And Cubella, thank you, darling.
It was good to see you. It was good to see you slightly. And to the Beans and Weenies, you're welcome for holding my composure. I held my composure, so you're welcome. And then Eric, it's always good.
Absolutely. Well, and friends might be in for a treat this Friday on the Old Man's Podcast Show. We kick off our January trivia contest. Subject is games, and a $50 gift certificate to Glowflow Denver is up for grabs. And we got a Twitter X and Podbean Podcast Nation survey to help decide the February contest.
There we go. Slightly, what kind of wonderful words do you have for these folks on this Wednesday night?
Well, make sure you stay tuned for the Beans and Weenie show. Slightly Doomed Saturday. It's one of the best comedy shows that I've listened to in a long time. So that goes from radio to podcast, anything. So make sure you tune in to watch these guys perform. It's with all the bullshit that's going on in society, we need some great laughter that they provide, and you won't be disappointed.
Well,
you follow us over on Twitter. You got the at Slightly Serious over on Twitter X, or Twix, as we're going to start calling it, maybe.
Twix, I like it.
Yeah. We'll post when we go do live shows. You can join us, the Podfather and Pert, and our new addition to the show, Amelia. So stay tuned for that. You want to listen to more things such as what we discussed tonight? Give us a follow.
Yep. And over at the Slightly Serious show, we'll still probably get appearances from Robert, Lady Me, and Jeremy on occasion, and all the other friends. And when the video feeds return, we'll be getting some interesting new and returning guests, won't we, James?
That we will.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. Oh, hey. No, it's not starting this shit again.
Congratulations to us for getting through all of the topics successfully. That was great.
That was.
A round of applause is necessary.
Exactly. Thank you guys so very much. Be sure to tune in Saturday night. We're going to have a special guest on the show, and they're going to be a little bit more sexy than slightly. 2A Patriot Mama is going to be joining Spanky, Jester, and I. The antics will be off the hook. The after show, hopefully we're going to get all of you people in there for the after show on the Beans and Weenie community page. And with that, that's all I've got. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday night.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good night, everybody.
And Scooter, Scooter, I'll be in touch with you about Rocky Raccoon coming on your show, okay?
Sweet. I think, Slightly wants Rocky, right? Slightly? You want him.
Oh, Rocky did an awesome job on the Podluck podcast. You got to check out that published episode.
I will do that. Miss Angie, it's so good to see you. Shorty, Shells, WV Pappy, BP, thanks for coming in. Naida, enjoyed the chat. And my most profound appreciation, Slightly. So glad to have you on here, Big Jim. You're muted. You're not even, I can't even hear you. Your lips are flapping, but there's no noise. Nothing. Zippo.
Nothing.
There we go. Slightly finally makes
I want to say I appreciate you coming down to Las Vegas to join me tonight.
Yeah, dude. Looks like beautiful weather. Yeah,
it is. It's like 35 degrees.
Cool. All right, we out of here.